Well, hello everybody. Hope you're all well and maybe have tuned into this show, another Claudumentary, and I'm trying to do it live this time. Yesterday I recorded one on his Proverbs 19 show. That's Kent's Proverbs 19 show. And I got about halfway through it, and I thought, oh, this time I'll try live, see what happens there. It does mean that because I'll be so tied up getting used to running the show, I don't have a tech guy to look after me. I won't be able to probably respond to comments for a while, but you never know. You can try and type them in, and if I happen to catch them, that'll be good. And once we've gone through the rest of the show, that's Kent's show, and made the comments, then I'm going to invite anybody who wants to come and I'll stick a link up there. So I don't know if anybody's listening to me at the moment. I don't appear to have muted myself. We'll get on with it and start on the latter half of Kent Hovind's Proverbs 19 show. In the earlier part, in the first part of the show, he was asking for donations, and he mentioned that he didn't know how many millions, so that implies at least 1 million, how many millions of copies of his material and DVDs he'd sold. Now they're $50 or $100. So even if he sold just 1 million, and they're $50 a shot, that means he's had revenues of $50 million. And of course, that goes to his personal account because that's his intellectual property. Wonder how much tax has been paid on that. Hello, Spooky. I can see you in the thing there. You can hear me? I hope. Okay, so let's see what he has to say on this show. Ooh, that's a good point. I better put. Yep. I've got Kent in there. We'll see that it goes. Kent makes parenting seem so simple, doesn't it? If you don't work, you don't eat. And I guess when you ruled the house like a tyrant, then that might have been possible. But most people can't hear the video. Okay. So that's a good point. I'll have to see what has happened there. What I'm going to do, I will get rid of that one here and pop up a new. Okay, I'm having a bit of a problem here. Where's Joseph, please? I never thought I'd hear myself say that. Okay, let's share the screen instead. And here we go. Right. So I've got the screen. Oh, goodness. What's that one there? You don't need all that other rubbish. Right. Now, I'm going to play and see if you can hear this time. Here we go.
If you don't produce anything, maybe that's why you're broke. Huh? Yeah, okay. He said, I want to be an example. When we were with you, we commanded that if any would not work, neither should he eat. You say, I can't get my kids to work. Okay, don't feed them. What? What the Bible says. They'll learn to.
Okay, could I ask? Yes, you can hear that. Oh, that's good. So he's going on about if you can't feed people if they don't work, you don't feed them. It's very easy to say. So hello to Justin and Spooky and Ambushed Apostate. Yes, so we'll continue on the rest of the video and see what crazy things Kent has to say. Yes, I was just saying that he was admitting the other day he sold millions of his DVDs, but at $50 pop, that makes him a multi-millionaire. I don't know why he's still grifting for money. Okay, here we go.
To work quickly. Give them a list of things to do. Make your bed, brush your teeth, do your homework. Supper's at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock comes, sit down. Thank you, Lord. Bless the bunch as they crunch the lunch. Amen. Okay, Jimmy, I notice your bed isn't made. You can't eat yet. Go finish making your bed. Yeah, but I'm hungry. I bet you're going to die, aren't you? Go make your bed. Parents, you're the one letting the kid be lazy. It's your fault, mom and dad. It's simple. If you don't work, you don't eat.
Yeah, I mean, although, it just sounds so easy, doesn't it? It just sounds so easy. But I think in reality it's a bit different. And all I can say, it's no wonder Sandra left with a teenage daughter at the time that she left Kent, because he would have been impossible. It would have been impossible to deal with, and probably the teenage daughter would have hated him.
He hath pity on the poor. He that hath pity on the poor lendeth to the Lord. When you take care of poor people, some people are poor because they can't help it. Okay, it happened, circumstance, health issues, or maybe somebody else robbed them or something. And you should have pity on them. And then God says, I'm going to pay you back. That which he hath given, will he pay him again. Chasten thy son where there's hope. What does that mean? That means there's coming a time when it's too late, Mom. By the time they're 15, 16, and they're bigger than you and you can't spank them anymore, you should have done it.
God, he's just got an absolute obsession with spanking. I wonder if that sort of went on. I wonder if that's why Sandra left as well. The man is obsessed with physical punishment. You almost wonder if he doesn't get some sort of a rise out of it. I wouldn't know, but some people do, and yes, quite disgusting actually. Hello to Kurisu in the chat too. So I'll just see if I can make my way through this. I don't think I have the patience of a Kurisu, but we'll see. And then we'll open the panel to everybody.
When they were 1 and 2, should have taught them to obey and be sweet and answer sweetly and not curse. You should have taught them when they're 1, 2, and 3. But now that they're 17, there's no hope, is there? Okay, now you got to just cry and wish, I wish you wouldn't do that. Beg him. Chasten thy son while there's hope. Let not thy soul spare for his crying. If he's crying because he get a spanking and he deserved it, don't let your soul spare him what he deserves. Okay. Proverbs 13. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him to time. If you love your kids, you got to discipline them sometimes. Train up a child in the way he should go. When he's
Well, I wonder if Kent's rod and his wife had something to do with issues as well. Who would know? Who would know?
old, he won't depart from it. You get him good habits when they're 1, 2, 3, 4. They'll keep it all their life. Okay. Withhold not correction from the child. If thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. Thou shalt beat him with the rod and deliver his soul from hell. Proverbs 23. Proverbs 29. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame. Boy, have I seen that up close and personal. When somebody lets their child raise themselves, they're going to embarrass you to death, Mom and Dad. Train them, teach them, make them do what's right.
I've seen Hovind embarrass himself to death too, in some of the things he's done recently, and some of the things he said he wants people to put his stuff up on YouTube, so I've put some of those things up, and he's possibly not happy about some of them. This attitude from him is driving me crazy. I don't know how much more I can take of it.
Correct thy son, he shall give thee rest. Yea, he shall give delight to thy soul. You want your kids to be a delight in their old age? Raise them right, okay? In the book of Ephesians, Father.
A delight in their old age, like Kent. Say such a delight in his old age.
Fathers, provoke not your children to wrath. Bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. Hebrews has a whole section on this. Whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If you're a child of God and you do something wrong, you're going to get spanked. Now, if you claim to be a child of God and you're living in sin and nothing's happening, you're probably not one of God's children. That's the problem.
So if you're living in sin, and Hovind calls that, for example, fornicating or living with someone to whom you're not married, you're not a child of God, according to Hovind. Oh, and his sidekicks are Slickerleys and Bolin as well. What horrible people. So that's what counts, is it? The fact that you haven't got a piece of paper and you're bonking someone is just such a heinous crime. What a load of rubbish.
If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if you be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then you're bastards and not sons. Furthermore, we've had our fathers of our flesh corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? For they verily for a few days chastened us after their own parents. I'm talking about your parents. They chastened you for a few days while you're young. But God does it for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness.
He missed the bit about chastened us after their own pleasure. And I'm beginning to think, because of his obsession, that it does give over in some sort of pleasure, physical punishment of others. A horrible creature he is.
Now, no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous. It ain't no fun getting a spanking, but grievous. Nevertheless,
I think he protests too much there.
Afterward, it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. Okay, a man of great wrath shall suffer punishment. You get angry easy, blow off the handle. I got a short fuse. Well, then don't light it or get a longer one. Don't just keep saying for the rest of your life.
Yes, don't light it. Get a longer one if your fuse is short.
You can't help it. You got a short fuse. That's stupid. Stop and think about it. You're going to suffer punishment. I like watching that when Karens get vengeance or karma. Instant karma for the Karens, They go up there and smart off to the police officer and whap, they're laying on the ground. If thou deliver him, yet thou must do it again. Some people, they have such an anger issue. If you deliver them, bail them out of jail or get them out of their trouble, they're going to go again. They're not learning. Hear counsel and receive instruction.
Yes, what did Kent learn in jail? Nothing. He's still saying he never did anything wrong. Everybody else was wrong except Kent, which is unbelievable narcissist. When your entire family is rejected, your brother, your sister, your son, your daughter, the grandchildren won't have anything to do with you. Maybe it's time you look in the mirror, Kent. Maybe it's time to look in the mirror.
That thou mayest be wise in thy latter end. Son, some people, if you bail them out, they'll get right back in trouble. Why? Hear counsel, receive instruction. Son, hear good counsel, receive instruction. You'll end up smart. Haywood had more than 130 previous convictions for 240 offenses. He's not learning, is he? 130 previous convictions.
Well, how many convictions did you get, Kent? How many times did you send your wife to the bank to take out just under $10,000 because you thought you were going to get away without being reported? How many times did you do that? It does take people a little while to learn, Kent, even you, even the great teacher.
Include at least 10 convictions for assaulting emergency workers or carrying out assaults during theft. 130 times. He didn't get it, okay? Hear counsel. Son, pay attention, okay? Okay. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord, that shall stand. The desire of a man is his kindness, and a poor man is better than a liar. I hate it when people lie to me. Brother, I get rid of them as quick as I can. Just tell the truth, okay? The fear of the Lord tendeth to life, and he that hath it shall abide satisfied.
Speaking of lying, it's great. I can, and other people can put up a clip of Kent. There are no pedos at Dinosaur Adventureland. There aren't any here. There never have been any here. And then a little bit later, I find another clip and I put it up alongside it. Well, there are only two. Oh, so there are two. So there have been two. So you've just been lying, have you, Kent? Unfortunately, that sort of logic is lost on a lot of these cretinist fundies.
Satisfied. He shall not be visited with evil. The fear of the Lord. You just need to keep a good, healthy. I had a good, healthy fear of my dad. We had a wonderful relationship. He was a great dad. But I knew this guy's a Marine from World War II. He's 6'2", and
Only survivor of his platoon because he was in sick bay. Oh, the usual thing. Every video he says is just about the same, isn't it? You think about it. Same jokes, same reference to his dad. He was a genius, by the way. He worked on the assembly line at Caterpillar Tractor. That's not to denigrate those, but don't call yourself an electrical engineer.
one of the smartest guys I've ever met in my life.
Oh, yeah.
And he was very kind, taught us boys everything, but he had a paddle on top of the fridge, and I knew that.
Oh,
Okay? Yeah, okay. A slothful man hideth his hand in his bosom and will not so much as bring it to his mouth again. He's so lazy, he won't even take his hand out to eat his food. Oh, here, would you get that food and stick it in my mouth for me? Slothful man. Slothful's found in the Bible a bunch of times in the book of Proverbs, a bunch of times in the Bible. God hates laziness, okay?
Yeah, he particularly hates people who have hot tubs and have massages every day because they've got a bad back, but at the same time can bounce around in a Jeep off road, converting people to the Lord. What a load of bullshit that is, Kent. It's a pity your people that go to see you don't have an inquiring mind like many of us. Because they don't. They just swallow you whole.
Slothful. If you want to be lazy, great. I tell people that some people come here, expect us to provide a house, utilities, food, and they don't want to do anything. Well, I'm sorry. Go get your own property, do what you want. Smite a scorner, and the simple will beware. I watch that sometimes. You see a crowd gathered around, and the police go up and they smack one guy, and the rest of them, oh, they pay attention. What do you do? What do you do? And reprove one that hath understanding, and he will understand knowledge. He that wasteth his father and chaseth away his mother is a son that causes shame and bringeth reproach. Smite the scorner. That's what I do all the time, brother. I've done 389 debates now with scorners. I can't wait for more. Please call me, okay?
Yeah, you've done all these debates and you've had moderators on your side, and one of the moderators standing for truth, or Donny, you had at your boot camp, and he said how wonderful your videos were and how you were right about evolution, all the other sorts of things. And yet he's the person that supposedly independently moderates your debates. There's no way, no way anybody in their right mind would have go on a debate where the moderator joins in on your side, Kent, and not only joins in on your side, but actually bails you out when you get cornered. So, yeah, I think that's highly unlikely.
This imagination. Just imagine you're related to a potato. Can you imagine? You're both eukaryotes, that proves you're related. How stupid is that argument, Joseph? How many times have you heard him make that?
Can you just imagine
you
it?
think you're related to a strawberry? Well, yeah, they're both eukaryotes. Yeah, me and a battleship are both attracted by gravity, too. That proves we're related.
What?
What a stupid argument.
What a stupid thing to say.
I don't claim to have won any of the scorners over, but a lot of the simple beware. Say, wow, he's right. Okay.
A lot of the simple, yeah.
Cease, my son, to hear the instruction that causeth you to err from the words of knowledge. Don't listen to those who teach evolution or that the earth is billions of years old. Son, don't listen to those who teach that the layers of the earth are different ages. That's stupid. How can they be different ages? Where's that top layer coming from? Outer space? All the layers of earth all the layers on the earth are the same age.
But as has been told several times, you measure the age of the layer when it's laid down. That's why it's a different age. Was it laid down 1,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, 20,000? That is the age of the layer. So all layers are not the same age, Kent. It's a bit like saying that babies are made from atoms, or atoms were created at the same time. Therefore, all babies are the same age. Jeez, I hope I've got that right. Otherwise, I'll be the subject of someone.
Every speck of dirt's the same age. They say, oh, I know, but that's the date when it got laid over on top. Oh, so if I shuffle a deck of cards, the top card's younger, huh? Is that your logic? The geologic column is one of the dumbest things ever taught in history.
I think we should be nominating Kent for the Nobel Prize in Science for overturning the geologic column. Oh, after all, of course, he does claim that he majored in math and science. I don't know if anybody saw that, but on another show, he made that claim, and I got the host to ask him where he majored in math and science. That seems a reasonable question. I mean, we know it isn't Patriot Bible University, because where he bought his PhDs from, because that was in Christian education. So where, Kent, did you major in math and science? And he wouldn't answer. He dodged. The hosts let him get away with it, like the plunkers that they were. No, he has memorized certain terms. And, when he's talking about math, he'll say sine, cosine, tangent. He knows what the terms mean. Well, no, I don't know if he knows what they mean. He knows the names of the terms. That's the limit of his understanding.
How you guys fell for it, I don't know, because you weren't thinking. You got duped. There is no such thing as a geologic column. Solomon says, son, stop listening to instruction that makes you err.
How many times? Every single show he pulls this out and does the same thing. Every single show he pulls his thing out.
From the words of knowledge. Here's the words of knowledge, son. God created everything. There was a big flood 4,400 years ago. That's what made most of these layers, not millions of years. How can they not see something so obvious? Where is that top layer coming from? Is it coming from outer space? Is it me, Joseph, or they just don't get it? Need a bigger hammer. Knock them. Okay. Don't listen to those who teach that they're related to a frog or a whale. That's stupid. These family trees are stupid, son. An ungodly witness scorneth judgment, and the mouth of the wicked devoureth iniquity. They love wicked things. Judgments are prepared for scorners, and stripes for the back of fools. It's the only thing they understand. You got to smack them. Anyway, that's Proverbs 19. Sorry about that. My throat hurts.
So all he can do is say, no, that's stupid. You got to smack him. This man of God, this great scientist, this doctor 4 times over, and that's what he comes up with every time. It's stupid, and you just got to get smacked.
Any questions or comments real quick? Couple comments. Okay. If my car ran better, I would drive up. Lady Di, how on earth have you been? She worked in our office for years in Pensacola. If your car ran better, you only are 40 miles away. Just walk. How old are you, 82? You probably need the exercise.
It's interesting. Lady Di, I think, was possibly a little bit miffed. For those that go back in history, I've followed Kent and shenanigans for years. There is a thought that she would have liked to have become the second Mrs. Hovind. Was a bit miffed when it was Mary, probably then it was miffed again when it was Cindy. And by that time, I think she'd left, so she probably didn't care about Sandra too much. And then, of course, Sandra didn't care about Kent too much. But yeah, I think that this could be the beginning of a possible relationship. Kent, you could go and pick up Lady Di. Maybe you'll do that. Bring her up to the compound.
Tell you what, Lady Di, you tell me when you want to come. Call me. You got my number. I'll drive down and pick you up and bring you. I won't pick you up. I'll let you get in on your own. But I'll let you come on up and see our dinosaur Adventureland. Fair deal? I got a little Toyota Prius now, 330,000 miles on it. Get a little nervous about that.
Yeah, send in money to buy a new car because it's got 330,000 miles on it. But Kent, earlier, you in this video, you said that you'd sold millions. You didn't know how many millions of DVDs you'd sold. So you're worth at least $50 million, or you've had that revenue. Wonder if you pay tax on it.
Sounds great, because 50 miles to the gallon. I'll come down there and pick you up. That'd be my honor. So please, Lady Di, thank you. Is he actually live? Yep. Tim?
Brain dead, though.
Okay. Absolutely love listening to your podcast. Well, thank you, Stevie.
God.
Tell other people about it, please, or come visit Dinosaur Adventureland. Nicholas, hope you and the crew are doing my question. If you went to the Amazon forest to see Amazon lemurs, trying to find any undiscovered dino species, do you love sea chimps or lemurs?
My God, isn't Nicholas Spiridakis a kindergarten student? Oh my goodness.
Yes, but when they're out in the wild, they're not super friendly. They can tear your face off, okay? Chimpanzees can kill you, okay? I bet lemurs could too, okay? I don't know. My brother, when we were growing up in East Peoria, Illinois, he had a pet squirrel monkey. We called him Henry. And he was friendly, you know, had to wear a diaper, but put him on, you walk around the house with him and stuff like that. So I'm not afraid of monkeys normally, but I just realized the wild ones, they're not glad you're coming to see them. Okay. Does he have homeschooling of the curriculum? Ewing, we have a lot of stuff that you can use. You make up your own curriculum. I've never made up a whole curriculum. We kind of started.
You don't make up much at all, kid. You take other people's works and then you call them your own. I mean, let's face it. Let's look at the long list of successful people that have been homeschooled on Kent Hovind. Now, let me just, I can't think of one. I can think of several failures. But Stephen Boland, a Proverbs guy, he was homeschooled on Hovind. But if you believe what he says, that before the age of 15, Boland was correcting pastors and rabbis on theology.
Did that, Joseph? Whatever happened? Did we ever get that available?
Yeah. 101, 102.
Yeah, CSE, Creation Science Evangelism, 101, 102. I did a 102, 103, 104. We don't know where they are. Brother, I've produced 20,000 videos, and I don't know where they all are. But there it is. It's a sale on all 4 classes.
That's your
Introduction to physical science, introduction to earth science, introduction to biology, introduction to algebra. Okay.
Goodness me. I mean, you talk about growing up dumb. I mean, all the fails he's had on his math and algebra on his shows. Then, you know, what does he know about physics or physical science or earth science? It's just plain nuttery to think that some children are being educated on his videos.
All right. So the answer is sort of, okay. When were angels created? Gayla, good question. The Bible says everything was created in 6 days. It says the angels were created. Ezekiel 28, Isaiah 14. So the angels had to be made during those 6 days, but the Bible doesn't tell us specifically. Here's what else we know. On the 3rd day, when God made the dry land appear, the angels rejoiced when they saw the foundations of the earth laid. I think that's day 3. So that means the angels must have been made on day 1 or 2. The Bible doesn't tell us. And then they were all wonderful, all fine. Lucifer was a good guy. At the end of the creation, on day 6, God said everything was very good. And it says in Ezekiel 28 or Isaiah 14, I forget which one, that Lucifer was excited to see the creation of God. I think within the next 100 years, he got jealous of Adam and Eve having fellowship with God. And he said, well, hey, they should have fellowship with, they should be worshiping me.
Probably jealous of Eve, perhaps. Yeah.
The Bible says he fell from heaven because he got proud because of his wisdom, his beauty, his power, and his riches.
Goodness. Wisdom, that's just a terrible thing. I mean, I fancy people wanting wisdom. Fancy someone wanting to eat of the tree of knowledge, you know. They should be just kept in the dark and fed bullshit like mushrooms.
Those 4 things make a lot of people fall. Okay? Sweet body, fit. Don't forget to hit the like button. Oh, wait a minute. Joseph. That'd be bad for the computer, wouldn't it?
Oh, God. Joseph, yes, Joseph. No, Joseph. 3 bags full, Joseph.
Anybody, God's not willing that any should perish. I don't think you can commit a sin bad enough that God can't forgive it. Look at the thief on the cross. We don't know what his sin was, but bad enough to crucify.
Well, how moral is that? Really. So this is one of my major gripes about that. Somehow you get to heaven, if it did turn out to be true, and you look across the room, and there's Jeffrey Dahmer, and there's some of his victims. What? you know, it's a license to sin. Basically, that's what it is. Christianity is a license to sin. Kent Hovind can do anything he likes, and yet he's always saying atheists, they want to sin. That's why they're atheists, so they can just do it. No, the Christians are the ones that get a license to sin, with once saved, always saved.
That's a pretty bad way to die. They would reserve that for special criminals, and Jesus forgave him. So yes, I think anybody can change their mind, change their heart, give their heart to. I think a person can be an extreme narcissist. Everything's about me, and they can.
Yes, it is about you, Kent. It's unbelievably. This is good.
I can say, Lord, would you forgive me? Would you help me? Help me start living for others. What is your whole life about you? They say the smallest person in the world is one who's all wrapped up in himself. Yeah.
Send me money, send me donations, buy me lunch, buy me a new car, buy me a Jeep, buy me side-by-sides, find me a new wife, send your girls down, pastors, send them down to serve the man cave. Oh, everybody's just obsessed with themselves.
So yeah, I think anybody can be saved. Anybody. Okay. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Oh, okay. That's good. We've had enough of that. So I'm going to stick a link up here. If anybody does want to come on and have a bit of a chat, I'll be able to respond to comments now. So I'll go back and have a look. See what you've said during the stream. Curiso, Hovind is a Nazi. Now, that is interesting, Crusoe, because although claiming to not like Hitler and talking about Hitler's sort of eugenics and things, I found a clip and I put it up of Kent Hovind advocating that different people are eliminated in the population, and that would get rid of the bad genes that make them a bad person, which is exactly what, and we'd get a better society. Exactly eugenics. So Kent actually is very Nazi-like, as you point out. Yeah. Let's have a look here. Yeah. Leopards can't change their spots, and translation from ambush to potty when they're too big to physically abuse without defending themselves anymore. Oh, I'm not sure if that's the kids or it might be the Hovind's children. Can be confused. Curiso, I hope you're feeling a bit less tired now. Have a good rest. Get back into your shows. I love them. Yeah. Kent learnt in jail, turning the other cheek opens a portal for those that had doors closed on them. Yes, I can imagine that's right. Captive Desk, you've had some good news about one of your family by the looks of it, got a job. So that's great. And the only video about Hawaiian shirt guy Captive Desk did was on the layers laid down at different times. Yes, I'm no scientist. I'm not, but I can understand some of the basics, and this business about all layers being the same age is just bullshit. Yeah. Crispin says, what is wrong with this man, Kent? He fantasizes like a child with an adult brain. Yes, but like that. Or it could be the other way around. He fantasizes like a an adult with a child's brain, possibly. Going down further, if everything was created in 6 days, which day was Kent made? Very good point. Very good point, Justin. And of course, the thing that I've sort of go on about quite a bit is just, as a person who's at different times have had a garden. And, if I've planted the wrong species in the wrong time of year, the frost or will come along and that will kill those plants overnight. And those frosts are not as cold as the earth would have been without the sun. And yet the plants were created before the sun. I mean, you have to be particularly stupid to believe that. Joseph changed my diaper. And buy my ark and my large crab. Yes. Well, I bet he regrets getting that crab. It's not going to make him blind, but I don't think anybody's going to go and say, oh, look at the size of your crab. Oh, God must be true, William Owenbeek. Hello, William. I've seen you up there before. And Chris, go on like the Z balls together. Yeah. Yes. Check that clip, Kurisu, the one about eugenics, Hitler like eugenics. If you can't find it, let me know and I'll find it. But yes, so I've had a ball the last few days, and with them having their what's it called, the creationist boot camp, and people speaking on there. One thing I've started to do, and it could be a good idea for others too, if Kent often broadcast who's there, and he gives out their email, or he does all these things, which is semi-doxing. But then if I know, well, I'll send them an email, referring them to some truths about their hero Kent. So it can work both ways. So, just like when he was telling people to contact Trump, I found some address somewhere and I sent a message saying, don't pardon this buffoon, Kent Hovind. So, yeah. But who knows? Who knows? One or two people asked me about, that I don't know if you saw before this, I put up a thumbnail, and the thumbnail was meant to be stylization of Kent with a Bible one hand and a cock in the other hand, a cock as in a rooster. And so it's because he's all cock and bull as far as I'm concerned. Let's have a look. Once again, Kilted Camera catches a live while making lesson plans. Well, let the Claude make your lesson plan for you. What's the topic? And we'll come up with a lesson plan on the show that the students will really enjoy. Probably get you fired, but they'll probably really enjoy it. When Kent got out of jail, Justin says, Joe gave him a list of demands. I'd love to see that list. Yes, that would be interesting. Now, we do have, and it's been put up a few times, the conversations between Kent and Joe on the phone from jail. So Kent was in jail and phoning Joe, and Joe said that she was upset because she didn't think things were going to change between them. So she wanted Kent to change. And she said that she could see the same pattern of behavior repeating itself again. And he just said, well, maybe I need to change. Maybe it's you. You need to change. And that's, so... I think I've got a fair idea that list of demands, and I don't think they would have been unreasonable. Treat me like a human being, treat me like an equal. Don't send me off to do your dirty work with your finances. Pay your taxes, because you live in a society. Society the taxes are used, even though for some things that you don't like, that's the same for all of us. Our taxes support all sorts of things. Not everything we use, not everything we like. That's called living in society. Anyway, Kilted Campbell says it's an 8th grade special education class on American colonies. So if we can think of anything about American colonies, I'm afraid I don't know too much about American colonies. 8th grade, what is sort of age group is that? Can anybody, you can tell me, because I don't understand the grade system. Like, does that mean 8th year of being at school or something like that? You start on first? You probably do, yes. Gives me a bit of an idea. Yes, but American colonies, 12 to 13. Okay, special guest Claude to talk about American colonies. Oh, you could probably ask Kent Hovind. He would know everything. At least I don't. I don't claim to know that. 13-year-olds. Oh, that's good. So, well, you do good work. I mean, I do admire teachers because, I have so many people, including Kent, who rubbish teaching. And I say most teachers are great and many of them work very hard. And so here's Kilted Camera working out a lesson plan. And I guess it's nighttime where you are at the moment, at night. So that's good. Can't ask Kent, he never made it out of the 2nd grade. Yes. Yes. Kilton says, I am the type of teacher that Fox News warns old white people about. I teach the truth. Oh, that's good. That is good, And that's all I ever want is the truth. I don't want anybody, if I go to news, I just want to see the facts without any spin and without any opinion, because why would I care what the newsreader thinks? But so many times you just get bullshit, piled onto it. So, but anyway, now some of the things that I've been on to, which you may have seen if you look at some of my stuff. I do a lot of shorts because it's easier to wade through. Yesterday I did the Claudumentary. That wasn't live, but that's probably, to be honest, was a more interesting part of this video, and this Proverbs video. So the other thing that I've been on to, Kent has been saying that, well, when the unbeliever departs, that means an unbeliever in the marriage and you're free to do what you want. Well, there's 2 verses, one after the other, and when the first verse, it's unbeliever, and it clearly means an unbeliever of God, in God. There's no reason to change that. The 2nd verse, it's still an unbeliever in God, but Kent cunningly says, oh, it's an unbeliever in the marriage. That's just an outright lie. And yet all his followers believe it. So that's his excuse for running around. And then he's very critical of people who live in sin or fornication. So, but when he gets married, in order to bonk, he just waves his hand in the air and he's married. And then when he wants to divorce them or whatever, he annuls the marriage, annuls the marriage, and he waves his hands to do that as well. So it's quite meaningless, and it has he's such a hypocrite. So I think, oh God, I want to bonk that person. Oh well, I'll marry her. Oh, a few years. Oh well, I'll just anal that marriage. I must get the pronunciation right. Someone has told me before, don't analing is quite different from annulling. Yeah, it probably has a different meaning, so I have to forgive my pronunciation there. Oh dear. I do. The other thing he always goes on about is women. His daddy used to say to women, if you're not in business, don't advertise. And it's such, you notice it's always the woman's fault, the woman dressed provocatively. That's just such bullshit, The men never do anything wrong. The men are never immoral. They're lured in by a wicked woman. In my case, I've found it the opposite. The Claude has been the wicked person, looking not in a spiritual way, of course. And it's the women who've been saying, "Oh no, I don't think we should," So, and that's fine. So, yeah. So often, but he portrays the woman as always being the temptress, the seductress. Does anybody want to come on? I'll stick a link in here. In case anybody wants to come on and talk about something. So yes, he's a cynical twister of scripture. The other day also he said, "I want you to go to this Christian music channel," and he played this song, and it was average. It wasn't as bad as his stuff, but it was Lord, just seemed slightly under the note to my ear. Anyway, so he goes on, he says, they don't know I'm doing this, but I'm endorsing their channel. Please go and subscribe. So I put that up alongside one of his things. He says, "Let's have a note, Mrs. Hovind." And then he sings, and he misses the note entirely. Sings terribly. She says, "Give me another note, give me another note," and still cocks it up. She says, "Oh, we'll try the chorus." So, being having Kent Hovind endorse your channel for its musicality is quite crazy. Moving sucks, but I'm glad you did it. I can't wait to see what you guys are going to do. Oh no, I'm just not sure what that's about, but that's fine. Yeah. Remember, Kent is his own God, so unbelief in him is the same as unbelief in God. Yeah, I do tend to think that. Yeah. You'd be shifted, ambushed. That's what it is. Yeah, I now get it. Yeah. Yeah, I now understand. So yes, you've been moving. And do you live in the same sort of area as Kurisu? Yeah. Have I got that right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, for me, a short show is a good show. And so I'll probably call it quits there. Thank everybody that's been in there putting up with me. I'm sorry I sort of cocked it up a little bit at one stage. And remember, for me, cock is not what you think it is. And in fact, we have a dish in France called coq au vin. It's chicken in a red wine sauce. So that's what I mean if I'm talking about, I'm going to eat some coq au vin. It's nothing, that would be considered unholy by certain people. So yeah, just to make that quite clear. Yes. So well, thank you, and I'm going to say au revoir, and yeah, I hope to see Kurisu back on soon, and ripping Kent apart. And people say, "Why do we do it? Why did it?" Well, for me, and I think for others, if we can just get through to one person who would otherwise have been sucked in by Kent, we think that's good, And so if I can just deconvert one person who otherwise would have sent money, lost their life savings, gone and provided free labor for him, then I would think that was good. If we can save one family from, ruining their kids' education, then that's good. And enough, I could ramble on forever. Okay, au revoir.